Hi, Danny. I am so
Hi.
happy to see you.
Nice to see
Thank you
you.
for agreeing to be interviewed for my stories segment. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, why don't you just tell us kind of where you are in your life, how many children you have, and uh,
Sure.
well, I'll
Yeah.
let you take it from there.
So I have two little girls. One is almost three. She'll be three this month. And then I just had another girl, and she is 8 months. She just turned 8 months. So they're about 2 years and 4 months apart from each other. So they're pretty close in age. I think they're as close as I could ever have got them in age from after having Addie. So yeah, I when I first had Addie, I really didn't do much at all for, I guess, like my health as far as pelvic floor dysfunction and just incontinence. I don't know. I just, you hear about it all, but you're like, it hasn't happened to me yet. And then towards the end of my pregnancy, I was just getting some symptoms of things, but I still really didn't do much about it until I had my second. But honestly, like some of these stretches and exercises I've been doing, they're so simple. And like when you hear about that, I think this is what happened. When you hear about like something so simple about doing it, like some of the, especially for somebody like me who played sports and did more of like higher intense activities, I'm just like, that's not really going to do much for me. But over time, you can tell a huge difference. So I think that's what, in my mind, during the first pregnancy, I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's really going to help. But trust me, they do. So,
Right, because we're living in the age of CrossFit, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and obviously, those activities are very, straining your body. It, I just never really, I don't know. I never took the patience and time to heal my body, I guess.
So, what kind of symptoms were you having? Uh, the
Yeah.
last pregnancy is the one that you were having problems with, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, with both pregnancies, I had lower back pain. I had, is it sciatica? So I had that where it was just like a sharp pain shooting down my leg. And I did go to the doctor once for that because it got so bad where I couldn't even um, walk. But I drove a lot with my first pregnancy. So I was in the car, just sitting like this for hours sometimes because I covered multiple states. So I was just driving long distances. So that never helped. But so I had it bad with both. Um, and then it would phase away when the baby would move. But so that was a big concern.
Did you ever have any therapy for it?
I did with my first pregnancy. I did have a little bit. It was like just basic stretching the doctor did for me, and it helped so much. Like I was like,
Okay.
really? That's all? That's
So
all it took?
you didn't see a therapist. You actually, the doctor gave you the stretches?
Right? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
my OBGYN.
Uh-huh.
So and it honestly it helps so much. I did do those stretches some at home too because he just told me what to do, but that was probably my number one concern. I had neck pain too during labor, all the way up to like at the end of my labor, and then during labor, and then after labor. It was so bad. And I never really did much for it. I just let it I just did my like, just neck exercises, and it kind of healed itself, which was so silly of me. I should have done something more with that. And then incontinence was a huge one. I think every woman goes through that,
Right.
especially after their first baby. And then I was always really worried about the abdominal separation because I always wanted to jump into workouts right after having children, but I haven't had that issue. So I was thankful for that. But that was always a big one for me. So I liked reviewing some of the exercises to do for that. So, because I know I have friends too that have suffered through that.
So,
but
so your baby is how old? I'm sorry?
8 months.
8 months. And you started, have you been doing exercises?
I just started doing exercises about a month and a half ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And I've seen a huge difference already. I mean, honestly, pretty quick off the bat, I saw a huge difference. I get a lot of tightness in my hips.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was looking to reference section 4. Those exercises were probably the ones I did the most with my hips and stretching through those.
Okay. And so that was from my book on pregnancy, right? And postpartum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that people knew what section you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that was, I'm sorry, that was I feel like I saw the biggest difference in those exercises. There's like 4 or 5 that I went through.
Right.
In that section.
So those are just what I call remedial exercises. They're not meant to be, the things that they're there for you when you feel like you need them to really beef up, but then it should allow you to go on to do other higher level physical activity, things that you love, you know, because these are just something to get you out of the woods.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So did you see changes? Were you still having leg pain?
No, so what happens, I'm really bad at carrying things on one side.
Okay.
So when I read through that in your book too, it really kind of triggered to like, okay, I need to keep switching sides, because I think that's why I get lower back pain frequently, but I think it's because, you're carrying the car seat on top of, whatever else, groceries, and I always go to one side. So I'm really trying to practice switching that around, but I think that's too where it can continue a lot of that lower back pain if I'm not. I mean, you can do those exercises, but if I'm still continuing to carrying one side, it's not gonna be as effective.
Yeah. And, I think we all tend to do that, but if you just got to kind of put it on your radar, to shift up.
Right.
So,
and you don't think about it.
Right. So, so it's helped with your back pain, and has it helped with continence type stuff?
It has. Yeah. Okay. I think that over time has just gotten, it's like night and day, to be honest. Good. Especially right after having the second.
Oh, sure. It should get better even if you don't do anything.
Yes.
But it may not completely go away. Or some people honestly don't even have it get better. They really need to start working on different, because everybody's different.
Right. I think too, if I didn't work on it, it would have not healed at all, probably.
Right.
So at least that's for me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Do you have anything that you want to say to any women that might be struggling right now, like in a place where you were before? You want to give some inspiration?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that it's just, I overlooked it so much because, you have a million things going on. You're caring for a baby, especially if it's your first time mom. It's really important to take a look at your health and make sure you're feeling good and healthy, because those symptoms just aren't going to go away. Because I did that. I postponed and just put it off. And then things just got worse and worse and worse until I actually, figured out a solution to the problem. So don't put it off like I did, and do the exercises. They don't take much time, and you feel so much better. So I don't know why it took me so long to get here, but it did. So,
well, you're on the other side, and I'm really happy, and I love that smile. And thank you so much for sharing, and thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.